Hey y'all, it's your friendly neighborhood panda here. I am back again with the ever popular and ever enjoyable DJ,
Hi everyone.
and and we are back with the epic the musical of the Ocean Saga, the fourth and final song in the Ocean Saga. And DJ and I, quite frankly, we're on the edge of our seats because thus far there's been some tension. There's been some what's going to happen next and some uncertainty and some minor things happen, but thus far nothing too terrible has happened.
Until the big bad scary voice goes, Odysseus of Ithaca, do you know who I am?
Uh-huh.
And suddenly I wish I'm
And
wearing my
we're
brown pants.
right, and we're told by Aeolus the wind spirit that it looks like you're going to the land of the giants. Have fun.
Yeah, great. World's worst tour guide.
Great. Great.
Yeah.
So we're gonna find out what happens with that because it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. We're talking, big bad's land of the giants. Okay, cool. That's already going to be something big and tense and troublesome for them to deal with. But also, we're dealing with the fact that there's a lot of tension between the men now.
Yeah.
A lot of mistrust.
We said at the end of the last reaction that I was expecting him to turn around and blast his crew for opening the bag. He didn't even get a chance to do that because instantly there's a threat. So
right.
Things are not in a good place
so
right
now. Now that they're not a cohesive unit anymore, how is that going to change how they get through whatever it is that they're going to have to deal with? All right, well, let's see.
Poseidon.
Well, they're screwed.
Okay, hold on. First of all, it started up like I was expecting the giant or whoever it was. We don't actually know if it was a giant, but shouting Odysseus of Ithaca. It reminded me kind of David Diggs style, and the especially the music at the beginning started. It was going to be one of his romping like introduction type things,
I wasn't getting those vibes at all.
But then it goes to Poseidon, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to curse, but anyway.
No, but
what were you getting out of it?
I like from the first moment of that Odysseus of Ithaca, I was like, oh, we're in trouble. But then the Poseidon moment now, this is final boss, and it's not even final boss. This is like this is where you get to the end of the video game and you're like, crap, I have to fight Poseidon in this one. And there's just the final form epic music blasting. The fact that it's just Poseidon 7 times in a row in like operatic style, and the man has barely said a word yet. They're in trouble.
Yeah.
They're in trouble.
He's standing in between them and this land of the giants. So what is this? Is he going to tell them turn back, or is he going to tell them I'm going to let you go and see what happens because you done effed up?
Yeah. I'm getting the vibes of you've conspired with the wind god to try and get past my storm, because obviously Poseidon controls the seas. If he wanted them to get home, they had to defeat his storm, and they've conspired with another god to try and get past him. He's not going to be happy about that, in my opinion. That's what I'm thinking.
No.
But yeah, just immediately, I am. I've been talking the whole time about waiting for the shoe to drop. If a big black horse rising up out of the sea and then being that is epic entrance, by the way. That is just the coolest entrance ever.
That is.
Poseidon is just. I think this is going to be bad for them. Very bad for them.
Oh boy.
Poseidon. In all my years of living, it isn't very often that I get pissed off. I try to chill with the waves, but damn, you crossed the line. I've been so gracious, and yet you hurt the son of mine. That's right, the Cyclops you made blind is mine.
I had forgotten.
I forgot about that.
Yep.
I had forgotten that in mythology, the Cyclops were children of Poseidon.
Yep. as soon as he said, "You've harmed a son of mine," I was like, "Oh God, that's right." Yo,
So that's how he knew.
yeah, yeah. You. I did not realize the monumental scale that Odysseus messed up when he stood there to that as he's sailing away all cocky, being like, "Remember my name. I am Odysseus of Ithaca." Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Go tell Daddy his name. That you messed up, boy. You.
Speaking of daddy, I am low key loving this animatic with the Rasputin like look to this guy. Anyway,
It looks
sorry.
fantastic. He looks fantastic.
I
Everything
would
about it
see
is
this
intimidating.
more as Hades. I would think of it more as like Hades with that dark, but it works. I don't know.
I either way, I think it looks great. Yeah, I'm just so scared of what's gonna happen.
Oh boy.
I'm left without a choice and without a doubt. Yes, the battle wolves are swimming with the shark now. I gotta make you bleed. I need to see you drown. But before you go, I need to make you learn how ruthlessness is mercy upon ourselves. Ruthlessness is mercy upon ourselves. Ruthlessness is mercy upon ourselves. Ourselves. You are the worst.
I'm sorry, I need to pause there for a moment.
Okay. Wow. The rock grit and growl in this guy's voice. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Who is this? Does it
is
say?
I
Or-
don't think it will, but man is rocking with a completely different style to what we've heard in the musical so far. But
Oh yeah.
yo, when you sit and think of that line, how fire is that line? Ruthlessness
Oh
is
yeah.
mercy to ourselves. Like
And
that.
honestly, I mean, if you think about it,
Ooh.
that could take a whole lot of thought to figure. But he's right.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, now
There's-
this next line I love because you're the worst kind of good because you're not even great. Like,
I
okay,
hadn't even read that yet. My God. Again, you want to slap someone in the face? That is vicious mockery right there.
I
But
mean, it fits. Poseidon is ruthless in everything he is saying.
yeah, the sea can be
Yikes.
cruel. But just that line there of the ruthlessness, just I love that so much because yeah, he's not gonna sit here and turn the other cheek and bottle up the anger that he has about his son being injured. No, he's gonna be ruthless and let all that aggression out because he's being merciful to
Yeah.
himself. I
mean,
like that line.
I do like that, and I think that there's this part where they're coming in. It reminds me so much of, you know, those kinds of. He is very much the chaotic neutral.
Mm.
I think
Mhm.
where he is just, you know, I am just going to do this because it's tit for tat.
Yep.
This
Yep.
is how we're doing it.
Yep.
You know, I really enjoy this. We were talking about in some of the others where there's always our favorite song in one of the sagas.
Mhm.
I think
And-
this one is going to be mine,
Oh yeah, this is winning for me already.
but then it's going to be a problem of trying to sing it out loud in public, and you're like, oh wait, maybe I shouldn't.
One thing I will say as well, the animatic for this one, I don't know if you picked up on it before, but I absolutely loved the moment where Poseidon reached out and grabbed Odysseus, and his arm turned into like water to grab Odysseus and
Ooh,
pull him
yeah, no,
in.
I missed that.
It was epic. The way that she had that the artist had drawn so that his arm went out like a stream of water and grabbed him and
Yeah.
dragged him in was just so cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Ourselves. You are the worst kind of good, cause you're not even great. A Greek who reeks of false righteousness, that's what I hate. Cause you fight to save lives, but won't kill and don't get the job done. I mean, you totally could have avoided all this had you just killed my son. But no. You are far too nice. Mercy has a price. It's the final crack. We're about to break the ice now. You reveal your name, then you let him live. Unlike you, I've got no mercy left to give. Cause ruthless.
Right there, I called it all the way back in the Cyclops saga. I said
Yes.
that the person you show mercy to will always hate you. Like that's like the common villain 101, the basics. As soon as he let him live, I was like, "Ooh, it's going to come back to haunt him." Didn't realize on what scale.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Like, okay, this is another thing. I keep going back. I tend to, I guess, compare styles to other things and other people and things I've already heard. This guy would have, if it were on stage like a younger, years ago, and he would have been able to, this guy would have been fantastic, played by Tim Curry.
Oh yeah, that would have been very cool. I could hear that.
You could hear that, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I was so shook for a moment because I didn't understand what he was saying when he was like, "You could have avoided this if you just killed my son." I was like, "Damn, Poseidon is like ruthless, doesn't even care about his own son." But no, he's saying you should have learnt your lesson. I would have never found out about this if you just killed him. But no, you had to show mercy and then run your mouth off. Like now you're gonna learn. Yeah. Damn.
Yay.
Mercy left to give, 'cause ruthlessness is mercy upon ourselves. Ruthlessness is mercy upon ourselves. And now it is finally time to say goodbye. Today you die, unless of course you apologize for my son's pain and all his cries. Poseidon, we meant no harm. We only hurt him to disarm him. We took no pleasure in his pain. We only wanted to escape. The line between naivety and hopefulness is almost invisible, so close your heart. The world is dark and ruthlessness is die.
I was gonna say there, as Odysseus was talking, I was like, oh buddy, he didn't ask for justification, he asked for an apology.
No, yeah,
everything Odysseus said there was justifying his action, but he didn't show apology for it. He didn't say sorry for it. And I love this mode of the animatic where it's showing Odysseus's eyes, and then they disappear, and it's the moment that he's dehumanized. It's a thing of like, not going to look at you as a person. You're just the thing I'm going to destroy.
Yeah, and like you said, this is not an apology, Odysseus. This is very backhanded and very, roundabout.
Yeah.
And so I see, number one, I didn't think Poseidon was ever going to take an apology, even if he made one.
Probably not.
But it I think gives, Poseidon a little more justification, a little bit, for what, for his anger. But the way they've portrayed Poseidon in the song and in the animatics and all this, it is so cold, obviously the sea cold, whatever, but it is so cold and so it is very much the neutral where, he's not worried about his son's pain for his son's sake. He just is worried about it because he was told about it, and it's sort of, okay, well, now I have to rebuttal because that's what you do. And you have to be completely unfeeling, is what he's telling Odysseus.
Yeah. And it's like, there's so many parallels we could draw with Poseidon being about the water that, like, it's the same thing of that, like, yes, he's cold, but he has that duality of he can be calm. The sea can be calm, the sea can be forgiving in some ways. And so possibly if there was a good enough apology and he could see Odysseus's heart was in it, maybe it would have sated him. Probably not, because at the end of the day, it's like the tides. The water is a continuous push and pull. If you act on it, it's going to retract. They've made their move. Now they're dealing with the repercussions, and Poseidon's just here to deliver them.
Yeah. Well, so much for thinking that we would get away from this saga unscathed.
Yeah. Now we're fighting a god.
Close your heart, the world is dark and ruthlessness is die. What have you done?
When does a ripple become a tidal wave?
43 left under your command.
Does a man become a monster?
I am your darkest moment. The monster that always draws near. Any last words?
All I gotta do is open this bag.
What? Remember me.
Okay, hold on. We've got to go back for some of that.
But that could not be paused that whole time, but so much happened there.
No.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I will say
so-
this before we rewatch through. I will say this. I've loved everything in this animatic so far. The one thing I will say is that I feel like so that they could put a shock moment in there, I feel like the story or the song was somewhat betrayed by the all I've got to do is open this bag moment, because it was drawn very happy and ha type thing. And
Right.
that was the only bad point of this animatic, in my opinion. And again, that's just my opinion. But yeah, I feel like that was much more of a defiant moment rather than a cheeky moment. And the way it was drawn was more cheeky. But
yeah, and we'll analyze that as we come back through this, because I couldn't pause through that.
No way.
No way.
Everything from that die moment was just, I don't think I took a breath for most of that time.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna go back from there, and we'll pause and we'll piece through it, because there's so much to unpack.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I like this part because you can, Poseidon is repeating his line about ruthlessness, and you hear in the background all the men calling out for the captain.
And I love this part. I love the way the animatic's done. The chaos of these ships being overturned and people drowning. Look at when we unpause this guy's face right here. His face is just distraught, and it's so well drawn. I love what she's done with the whole animatic here. But yeah, that combination of them all screaming captain while Poseidon's just destroying them all. Oh my gosh. So I'm guessing he's destroyed all of the ships except Odysseus' one now. But we'll get that. We'll get that in a second. 43 men.
Yeah. There. Yeah.
That face is just.
I went too fast. But
no, that's all right. We don't need to pause on it, but it's just like.
And then nothing.
What have you done?
When does a ripple become a tidal wave?
43 left under your command.
Does a man become a monster?
That callback to the Troy Saga is everything. When does a
Beautiful.
ripple become the fact that it's ripple and tidal wave from all the way back there, and we don't know that this is coming, or I didn't know this was coming, and now it's reused, and it's the 43 left under your command from 600 down to 43.
Yeah.
Like, I know he would have lost some of the Cyclops, but still, I have lost hundreds of men there.
Yeah, all in one swoop. Ugh.
And again, Poseidon.
Sorry.
No, I was going to say that Poseidon's whole thing here is, don't forget, this is because of your hubris, your ego. You had to you had to show off and be like, oh, remember who I am. And now look at what it's wrought.
Oh yeah.
I am your darkest moment. The monster that always draws near. Any last words?
All I gotta do is open this bag.
What?
And there's what we were talking about, is when he does this, you see in the animatics, he looks very cheerful about this.
Yeah.
but it does in the music. If you close your eyes and you listen, it really does sound defiant. Like he was just waiting in that moment when Poseidon gets close to him and is whispering in his ear, "I'm your darkest moment."
Yeah.
He was
And
waiting for Poseidon to get close enough that he could do it.
yeah, exactly. And I feel like just it like if the face was, he could still be smiling, but if it was a sadistic smile with some aggressive eyes, it would have
Mm-hmm.
just driven it home a
Yeah.
little bit better for me. But taking that
Yeah.
aside, Poseidon's whole moment there of that "I'm your darkest moment," the way that is
Mm-hmm.
sung, I need to know who sings this part because goosebumps. I need to know if they've sung anything else. I want to hear so many more things that this
Absolutely.
singer has sung because they are incredible.
Oh yeah, and it's one of those. They sound like one of those, those rock grit and that rock growl and
Mm.
screamo like in the back is a very difficult thing to do healthy.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But you can tell he knows
And
how.
this sounds like, yes, he has studied. You can tell that he is an expert at what he does, or it's just something naturally that he has,
Yeah.
so that and he's using it to his best advantage. He's really skilled at that.
Yeah, but working in that rock gruffness as well as just before that, the kind of softer, higher notes that he did, the floatier notes,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
just got incredible control and an incredible voice in general.
Absolutely. And you notice, okay, one thing I do like in this animatic, if you notice, Poseidon, you always see he has just the whites of the eyes. There is
Yes.
no
Yes.
anything else. It is very unhuman,
Yep.
inhuman.
Hmm.
And, Um, I think that brings back to the unfeeling ruthlessness of his entire character.
Exactly. Definitely.
That's what
All I gotta do is open this bag.
What? Remember me.
And I love that where you can still see him watching. It's like, you got away from me. You got away from me now.
Hmm. But the thing
But
is,
I'm waiting. I'm gonna bide my time.
yep. And the thing is, I love that it uses that "Remember Me" as well, because obviously the song where it ended with Odysseus screaming out his stuff finishes the
Mm-hmm.
same way. I love that parallel. But yeah,
Yeah,
that
throwing
that
throwing the words back in the face.
that is the big thing here, though, is that Poseidon now is standing vigil out there and is very aware that, oh yeah, you're safe now on the island of giants, where your only way off is back through my water. Like,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, number one, it's out of the frying pan into the fire, and number two, you've just made yourself, you've put yourself in a cage. So
Yeah.
eventually, water's patient. He can wait for you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Well, y'all, I mean, like I say, we've been going through this whole thing because up until now, some minor things have happened. There was a storm, and there was, this issue with the wind god, giving them and the tension coming up, but it was all building, and nothing truly awful had happened yet. And so we were on the edge of our seat for this last one. I'm eternally grateful that we sit here every saga and we do the whole saga
Yep.
all at once.
But there
Because there's
is,
no way I could have waited a week to see each one.
God no. And that's the thing. There is still so much I can't wait for in the next saga now, because at the end of the day, Odysseus is down to 43 men. But
Yes.
that bag of wind, that bag that contained the storm, that was opened on
Uh-huh.
his boat, and it seems like his boat's the one that survived. So of those 43 men, there's still people there who it's their fault that they end up in this
Yeah.
situation. It's their fault that they're not home and nice and safe right now.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
I'm hoping they
and
have.
there's still the people that are having the most mistrust because they were right there and they were right there seeing what's in the bag, and so there's still the ones I think that have the most problems working together.
Yeah. And throughout this whole thing, ever since they managed to, the last time we saw him was when they managed to close down the bag. Or he was in the animatic here, but like,
Yeah.
I'm curious as to what Yuri's whole situation now is going to be. Does he blame Odysseus for
Yeah.
this? Because like, you can't blame Odysseus for the whole storm bag situation, but you can definitely blame him for the fact that Poseidon's now pissed off at you, and there might not have been a storm in your way to
Right.
begin with if Poseidon wasn't pissed off at you. So you have to think
And
that.
did and And did he even survive? There's 43 Ben, but was he one of the 43?
I'm taking it. I'm taking it as that Odysseus's ship is the only one that's left now, and that's why they got to do their daring escape with their. Poseidon wanted him to watch his entire fleet get sunk before finishing him off, and so if Yuri was on his ship, so I'm hoping he's safe. I don't know that though. I imagine, but I don't know. Hopefully.
Yeah, we have never been, like, every turn has been a complete left. What we expected is not what we get.
No, exactly.
So, but I absolutely loved this particular saga. I cannot wait for the next one.
Yep.
We're going to pencil it in on our calendars. We don't, you guys, we've loved the response that you guys have given us in this and all of your lovely comments and support for that. Do us a favor. While we're filming the next one, go and take a look at Jorge's channel and support him, because he is obviously so very talented and he needs to have his work out there for mass consumption. We need to make this happen.
Yep.
And check out the animatics artist for this one. Her name is AnniFlamma. Apparently, they got the information up here on the screen, but we will put it in the description below.
Absolutely
incredible
animatics for this one. The way the Poseidon horse was everything. I loved that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But and give us a like, comment, and on this video, and subscribe to us. That'd be great. It helps the channel out tremendously for both of us. Mm-hmm. And we also, if you can, we both have a Patreon where we have things like extra content for Patreon only members, advanced content and things like that. But we also each have a tier where you can go and you can get a guaranteed monthly request of a song or something like that we cover on our own channels. But in the meantime, we're gonna go and look at our calendars and find out when we can do the next one. But in the meantime, you guys have a good day, night, morning, evening, whatever time zone you happen to be in, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.